I have my man Toby Hall here with me today. Toby played in the major leagues for how many years?
A little over 9.
A little over 9 years. He's got 46 more home runs than I have. I can tell you that. You're kind
Yeah,
of,
it was good. It was a good ride.
you know what, man? Thanks for coming on first and foremost. Thanks for joining the channel. You're kind of like a cult legend here, man. I don't know. You got some swag with you. In the past week or two, I'll mention to other people like, hey, I've mentioned Taden, and then I said it, I'm gonna have Pops on, and everybody knows you. It seems like everybody knows you, man. You still, I mean, obviously you're still, you're coach, you're managing, but you're still out there. You're still out and about. You got a lot of, are you just trying to keep yourself very involved with everything?
Not really. It was kind of crazy. I waited for the kids to get out of school when I retired, and I think it was around 2011. Had a lot of job opportunities to go manage, and I just didn't want to leave the kids and be on that grind of another 9 months away from them. Tatum started getting good around 11, and I was like, damn, as I didn't even want him to play baseball. He started getting good, and then we just started working, and then my daughter was 3 years younger, and want to make sure I was home for her, and it was a few years back when Bobby Jinks asked me to come out and manage with him in Colorado, and I just wanted to see if I liked it again, and especially nowadays with kind of all the analytics and stuff that's going on. But yeah, and then when Bobby called me about his diagnosis, asked me to come manage up here in Chicago, and I said, of course, man, like whatever you need. And so flew up here and been at it ever since.
I'll tell you what, mad respect for a couple things you just said. First of all, being out and playing in the majors, minors, whatever it is a grind. I think a lot of people don't understand that element of it, right? Yes, it's everybody's dream job. When they're a kid, they want to play baseball, right? I mean, listen, you had my dream job, right? Of course. Yeah. But what goes hand in hand with that, man, is a lot of time away from the family, a lot of time on the road. And I respect the heck out of it. You saying I wanted to be around the family. And one thing I did catch there, you didn't even want him to play baseball. Was that because of your road, or what was the reasoning there?
I just know how tough it is, but he's mentally strong, to go through there's a lot of failure in this game, and you're under the microscope all the time, and everybody's trying to change everything about everything. And it's just, I wish he played in my era, honestly, is, see the ball and hit it. And if we crushed one, we didn't know if it was 100 miles an hour or what my exit velocity was or launch angle. And it's just, but then it's such a great game, if you're able to be good at it and be consistent at it. He got my full support, and he's trying to live his dream now.
The best saying I've ever heard with baseball players, with really any pro athletes, is you're either humble or you're about to be humbled. You know what I'm saying? The best coaches in the world will tell you that, because there's always someone better or creeping up on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You can be Paul Skeens one year, and next year you're just Paul Skeens, if that makes sense. Right? I mean,
100%.
He's legendary, but you know what? Then there's another Paul Skeens. So it's like, you're right about that. I think there's one element that's a little bit better about these days, and that's the paycheck. I was talking to an old timer. My sons play travel ball, and there's an old timer I'm up in Buffalo, and I was talking to him. He said, I played in the 70s, man, and he was going on and on. He's like, I made 18 grand a year. He was on fire. He was so mad about, what they make now. And I'm like,
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, but like even in this Frontier League, these guys I think they're making $1,200 a month, and it's a grind, but they're all trying to live out that dream. And I think these kind of leagues that I'm in right now are going to get bigger and bigger, because affiliate ball, Major League Baseball, they're cutting down on numbers. So a lot of talented players. I think we've had 38 guys get signed out of our league this year to go back to affiliates. It's just it is a grind, and it's, I'm in my condo here in Chicago, and we're on the road today. It's only like an hour away, but, we got dogs back at the house. My wife's there. She's flying to go see Tate and going to see my daughter at Colorado State, coming to Chicago. So, I mean, it's definitely a grind, but doing this again this year, got that fire back into me. And I just got done serving a 2-game suspension for.
So that's what Tate was telling me, man. That's what I was going to dip into. I was going to say, I was trying to dig up footage of it. There's nothing out there yet.
I'll send you some. I'll send you some.
Please do. He said, whatever
Yeah.
you do, bring up the 2-game suspension. He was launching buckets of balls out onto the field. You know what, man? I love the passion, right? I love it because people look at that two ways, like, settle down, whatever, or the passion. And I'm 100% about the passion. There's obviously different type of managerial, ways to go about it, right? One thing,
Right.
I'm a huge Braves fan. We're a tried and true Atlanta Braves household. One thing that drives
Yeah.
me nuts about Snit is the guy is just emotionless, bro. He just
Yeah.
they'll call a strike three that's way, it could literally hit somebody, and you just see him over there like, I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Sorry to say this, man. My personal opinion, Snit's got to go. It's not working out, but just show some emotion. Listen, I
Yeah.
don't know what happened. I'm waiting for that video footage, but I love that you're
Yeah.
out there doing your thing, man. You want to go over that?
I've had
Give me the breakdown.
yeah. Well, it's funny. It's like opening night. We're at home. I got tossed from that one too. And it just, I mean, I played under Lupinella for 3 years. So I think I learned from the best, but
Sure.
it gets to the point where, and I'm trying to teach these umpires too. They're here, grinding to get to the next level and the next level. And I always have like soft conversations with them in between innings about, where they should be or strike zone or all these different things. But yeah, it was a situation, and it had to happen, and I got a two game timeout. So
That's all you need to say. I need to
yeah,
see this video, and it will be inserted into this absolutely when I edit. So the people will see it, and I'm looking forward to it.
that
I
was good.
love I love in your bio, bro. You're the first person I've ever read their bio, and the soul patch gets mentioned. The dying of the soul patch. Like everybody's kind of got their creative. I had Davis Schneider on, from the
Yeah,
Jays, and he's got his stash, and Peyton Tolley, up and coming pitcher, he's got his thing. Everybody's got their thing, but you had the soul patch dying, man.
well, it's funny. It's like now, I'll sign some baseball cards or whatever, and they'll kind of put it up next to it, and now it's the same color. It's platinum now. What I used to dye it, so it's growing in natural.
Like an old Labrador Retriever. That's what I say when my
Yeah,
starts to grow, and we're close to the same age. So when the beard,
yeah,
I say, hey, we get better looking with age, man. But
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, you made and then it like went on, like, and then he dyed it red for this event and this, and it was like, okay, man, we get it. Like that was his thing. But it's pretty big news to whoever typed that up. So
Oh, that's funny. It was funny. The year I got traded from Tampa to the Dodgers, it started catching on in Tampa, and everybody started putting cotton balls like on their face. But
you started.
no, it was just something that started doing, and yeah, now it's growing in the natural color now.
Dig it. I dig it. So, I was there was a guy that used to play for the Bisons, Mike Cerniak. Sorry if I'm not saying that right. And
I just met Mike here in Chicago.
that's literally, I said to him, we were setting a time for him to come on. He just knows some mutual friends, and he's got a pretty interesting career. So I set a time, and I said, I got, Toby, and he said, oh, this guy, and he sent a picture of his kids with you, and I'm like, what the heck, man, another one, and that was after Hayden had
Yeah,
just got done golfing with you, and I'm like, this guy's everywhere.
yeah,
Was that
yeah,
exclusive,
yeah.
or
It's
what was that
funny.
about?
Yeah, I mean, I live in Tampa, so I get to see a lot of the guys, especially in spring training, where I got to meet Hayden, and what a good kid. And then Mike, when he got inducted into the Frontier League Hall of Fame.
That's what it was. Yep.
So it's yeah, so it's just funny. It's like this circle of get to see a lot of guys run into guys, especially charity golf events or even when I was at the White Sox thing, run into a lot of guys. So it's been fun.
Was Dylan Leach Frontier League?
Might have been because I'm now starting to learn like who's played in this league and
So he was
kind of the history of it.
and I should know. He was just this year. Toronto just picked him up, and there was a big thing. How they show the people when they get told that an MLB picked them up. So it was on.
Right.
He's on the show. I had him on the show. He's a great kid. But now that I'm like thinking about it, I think he was a Frontier League, and you said there was like 36 or 38 guys signed, which is incredible, man. Like that's incredible talent. I think there's not enough emphasis put on it. There's not enough recognition for whether it be Cape Cod ball or Frontier League ball, man. It's the best baseball other than, in my opinion, MLB. And it's right up there with it. It's in OHL type, if you're talking hockey or KHL, whatever. It's great baseball. And, maybe it's not on enough TV, whatever. There needs to be more emphasis on this ball. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's only going to get bigger and bigger because I mean, all these games are streamed. A lot of the organizations are able to watch without even being, having to scout there. they can actually see all their metrics and stuff through Major League, because it's a MLB partner league. So, there's an American Association, there's an older league too, where, I mean, there's former big leaguers playing in it, still trying to get back. We get most of the guys that didn't get drafted, fifth year seniors, with the draft only being 20 rounds,
Right.
some of these guys. So it's a great platform for them to come showcase what they have. And when they continue their success, maybe they're hidden gems that they didn't see in college, and then they get picked up. It's great.
That's a good point. I saw, when you were drafted initially and you didn't sign, again, respect. It goes back to you design, you carved your own path, right? I don't think you let anyone carve your path for you. And you said, no, this isn't, and then turned around, was it a year or two later, got drafted 9th round. Was that something
Yeah.
where, I mean, I guess run me through that story a little bit of not signing.
I think at that point, so my brother was playing in the minor leagues with the White Sox. He's a middle infielder. I got drafted by the Giants as a catcher, and I had never even caught. I never even caught in Little League.
Really?
I have a couple pictures of me being back there, but catching wasn't my. I didn't want to do it. I wanted to play third, first, pitch, hit homers, and not worry about putting gear on. And so they drafted me as a catcher. I go, catcher? What are we doing? They're like, you're going to be a catcher. And I go, so my brother's like, you're not ready.
You had never played catcher?
No. So that was the best part. Was my brother was like, hey, you get into pro ball, you never caught. There's 1,000 other catchers that have been catching their whole life. So I went back to JUCO that year, learning how to catch. Buddy Goldsmith, he's one of my favorite coaches. He's a scout with the Rockies now, but he taught me well. Got carved out on that part. I was actually catching a bullpen for a pitcher of ours that was gonna being scouted by UNLV, and he saw me catching him. He goes, "You're coming to UNLV with me." So I said, "All right." Went there for a year, and then the rest was history when Tampa called me.
That's wild, man. And like I said, everybody's kind of got their own story. That is so wild, just kind of the way that went. Do you remember your first? Well, obviously you remember, but let's tell the people the first time, your first MLB game. Getting in there, that feeling of, okay, here we go.
Yeah, I get the call. I was in Durham, having that was my MVP year, and it was hard because we already had two catchers in the big leagues, John Flaherty and Mike DeFelice, and John Flaherty just signed a 3-year deal while I'm in AAA, and at that time I'm sitting there going, why are they locking up this catcher when I should be ready? But basically, John obviously earned it and was my mentor through especially my early parts of my big league career. And if it wasn't for Flaherty, I mean, that was a big part. But just getting that call, Bill Evers calls me in the office and says, you're not playing here tomorrow. You're actually going to Oakland and playing, which was ironic because I grew up as an A's fan, Giants fan, from being from Northern California. So getting to that stadium and kind of looking where we used to sit, where I used to come down and get Canseco's autograph and Will Clark, just all those different. It was kind of a surreal moment, taking BP and going.
That's giving me
This is
goosebumps right now, man. Yeah, that's crazy.
It was just a weird, situation, and then you got to flip that switch, and all of a sudden, I think I was facing Barry Zito that night or something like that. But so
there's that surrealness of it, right? Like
yeah,
said, and I know exactly what you're talking about, running down to the netting and asking these guys, and then there you are, you're playing.
Yeah, and then all my family's there. I got 40, 50 people there, but then you got to grind down and get focused and try to hit Zito's curveball. So it was great.
Tobe, your son's such a polite, well-mannered kid. I just wanted to give you kudos to that before I forgot about it, because
thank you.
I've interviewed so many guys, man, and I love talking to these young up and coming ball players. And certain ones, you just have the feeling of kind of who's going to go to the next level, who's going to make it and who's not. There's a certain aura and a confidence. And when I said to Taden, "Are you a clubhouse leader?" I didn't need to ask him. I didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was putting off, like, if he said no, I would have quit.
Yeah.
What I do, because you could just see. And he was like, "Oh yeah, man, I take a ton of pride in that," and you can just tell the type of character that he is.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it, because I asked him too, because I think 80% of his teams, from Latin America, and
I saw it. It's crazy.
And when I see him in person, like when I go to the stadium and how he interacts with them, it's like I go, "You're gonna do great." Like normally, it's everybody kind of has their cliques, and yeah, he has fun with them. It's great, and they have fun back, and he's learning Spanish, and
And
Yeah, he's a good kid.
he made a good point about the drive of young players. And he had said a lot of these guys, these Latin American players, forget the not speaking English aspect of it. They have families already, right? So,
Yeah.
like, a lot of them have kids that are 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. And it was the first time like a light bulb went off for me. And I was like, yeah, man, that's that much more incentive. Like, hey, I gotta make it. You know what I'm saying?
For
And
sure.
it was for once I sat back and thought about that, and I was like, man, that's tough to compete against those guys. I've never seen more of an international presence on a team ever in my life.
Yeah, it's especially at the lower levels, and even like in the complex league and lower A. But there's just so much talent, and then when you see in the big leagues too, they're the guys that get there. It's like the dedication that they put in, and they're over here in the United States and not knowing a lot of the culture, but all they want to do is play baseball. So yeah, it's fun just to especially with Tatum, be able to interact and be on the same page. And a lot of my, I mean, former best friends now are guys from Latin America too, so we always had a blast.
Matt, you played with some, amazing names, some amazing teams. If you look through and you look at the rosters, had to be fun, man. Like this ride you went on just had to be, I mean, and it still continues as a manager, but in your MLB career, like you said when you first started, what a ride, right? And
Yeah.
do you ever just look back, man, and kind of be like, pinch it, like, holy cow, like that was my life?
Yeah, and normally it really comes up in like conversations like this, or running into guys at stadiums or whatever, because I mean, family's always been first, and I was just blessed enough to be able to not just get there but stay there, and to be able to, and I think that's kudos to our kids. Is I think we've been to so many charity events and being around a lot of famous people to how they act, and like my daughter, I mean, she's the smartest one of all four of us, so it's like um which is great. So she wants to be a large animal vet, and all that schoolwork that she's got to do. Yeah, I'm just proud of both of them.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. And I tell my kids I want college scholarships. I don't care if it's academically or if it's athletically, but man, I
Yeah.
don't put that bill. So just do whatever you got to do to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple more, man, and I'll let you get going. Again, I definitely appreciate the time. I can see where T gets his humbleness from, man, because it's spewing out of you as well. I mean, let's not get it twisted. You played at the highest level with the best players in the world, and you've hit home runs off of the best pitchers in the world. Is there one that sticks out at you where you were like, man, I can't believe I smacked one off of that guy, or one that you really wanted to like rub it in with them, or give me a memorable home run experience?
Like playing in the AL East all those years, it was funny because I think Tatum was like junior in high school, and he goes, "Dad, you only hit 264 or whatever it was in the big leagues." And I go, "Tatum, I played in the AL East for almost 10 years, and about 15 of those guys have plaques in Cooperstown. And whether we flew from New York to Boston, we're facing Pedro and Clemens, and then you get to Toronto and you're facing Roy Halladay, and then all of a sudden you go to Oakland and it's Hudson and Zito, and Arizona, you're facing Randy Johnson. Then he gets traded to the Yankees. It's just, it felt like every night. And then we, most of the time, we're in the losing part. And then Mariano's coming in there, Billy Wagner and Hoffman. And it's like, I go, Tatum, come on. You got to understand the who I was facing for all his years.
I agree, man. I'm with you 100%. There was a different. That's before 100 miles an hour was sexy. That was like
Yeah.
you were throwing 100 then, or even anywhere close, man. It was like, woo.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I had to humble him on that. And he goes, Dad, yeah, but the game's different now. Everybody throws 100. I go, I get it. But so it is, but if I think about home runs, I don't know, like Pedro, and, you get Clemens once in a while. And
Well, there you
I
go.
was,
Did you smack one off of Pedro?
yeah,
Okay.
got him in Boston. But you got to remember, they got me most of the time. But when you're able, whenever I was able to, get a barrel and be able to do that was and the funny part about all that too is I only had two stolen bases in my career, and both were against Clemens and Posada in New York. It was kind of, I think it was the game after 9/11 when we got back, but there's 60,000 people in the old Yankee Stadium, and I thought our third base coach gave me the delayed steal, and so I delayed steal, and Posada throws it in center, and Jeter's looking at me like, "What did you just do?" I go, "Hey man, that's stolen base." So it was funny because that immediate pitch right after, Posada was so mad, and I got this huge secondary lead, and he tried to back pick me, and I went straight to third, and Jeter tried to throw me out. So I only 2 stolen bases within 5 minutes.
Are you kidding me?
And then that was it. Yeah, within 5. So I'll never forget, our GM called me that night, and he goes, "We don't pay you to run." And I go,
Today you did.
I just didn't want that goose egg. Yeah, I didn't want that goose egg.
story.
And then
Dude, that is too good. That is too good. So I take it you never did get the delayed steal sign.
no. But it all worked out because I didn't have that goose egg. And then my only triple in my career was, because everybody was like, "Hey, you have a 0 on that." I go, "Well, odds of me getting a triple was not good." So I hit a double down the line. We were at Tropicana Field, and it hit the bullpen and shot to center field. So I had to go third. The rest was history. I was like, all right, there's no zeros on here.
Now you got that triple, man.
Yeah,
that reminds
far though.
That reminds me of the time I was in Little League. I still remember this vividly. I swore same thing. Someone had given me the steal sign. There was someone on second, and I just, dude, I don't know. I still to this day, I swear to God, someone gave me that sign, and I went right, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I ran and slid in, and hey, I was on second. They threw out obviously the dude going to third, but I still remember that vividly.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to take risks.
You got to take risks, man. Who knows? But that is a great story though. Two within 5 minutes is unbelievable, man.
Well, good thing Tatum got my wife's speed, so that he can run. So that's good.
Like the GM said, they weren't paying you for that, brother.
Yeah, I said, don't worry, I'm not going anymore. That's fine.
Let me give you a couple of fun questions here, man.
Yeah.
I asked Tatum as well. What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Mint chip.
That's a good call right there. That's good stuff.
Chip.
Yeah, mint chip's a good one. Favorite Bon Jovi song? See, these are tough.
I know. You got to remember, I had 12 concussions in my career. When I think of songs and I don't even know some of them who sing. I don't know. That's a tough one because living on the prairie, we heard that in the White Sox clubhouse all the time because they used that in 05 after the World Series. That's tough.
We'll go with Living on a Prayer. I mean, it's still a song, right? It's the Bon Jovi. We'll go with Living on a Prayer then.
Okay.
I asked your son, if you could go 100 years forward or 100 years back, which one would you do? So you could go back to 1925 or you could go 100 years forward to the future. Which way are you going?
I think I'm going back. I don't know what this future I don't know what we got going, but I'd probably go back and probably see how all this really started.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to go back, man. I'm a little scared of the future, right? It would be Jetsons.
Yeah.
You'd have all the cars. It'd be some scary stuff.
It's true.
This was awesome, man. I really appreciate you coming on, sharing some stories with me. Absolutely. You're almost too humble, bro. You gotta back and realize you absolutely astonishing what you were able to accomplish. Again, that 1% of just people and even less than 1%. Now we're in the point, whatever, hit a home run off of Pedro. So
yeah, no, I appreciate it.
It's amazing.
Thanks for having me, brother.
No, it was awesome. Thank you so much, man.
You bet.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Talk to you later.